Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today we're starting off with the next ratios that are left. First we have talked about published accounts, the contents of published accounts, we've talked about income statement, we've talked about the statement of financial position, we've talked about ratio analysis, and we've talked about liquidity ratios. Now today's lecture we have to talk about the profitability ratios, but before talking about profitability ratios, we left off at this using quick ratio part since the length of the video was full. So let's just continue from here and then move on to profitability ratios. So the last lecture we talked about the quick ratio, that it basically excludes inventories from your current assets so that you can have a more accurate indication of the liquidity of the firm. Then current ratio, since your inventories take time to be converted into cash, okay, these are the least liquid assets that the company has. So that's why we just remove that and we have a more accurate representation of that. How do we use this quick ratio? Generally a normal recommended figure will be 1:1, since if your current ratio was, what was the current ratio that we wanted 1.5 to 2. Okay, so since we remove inventories, generally there is a drop, so a drop up to 1:1 is recommended, okay, not less than that. But businesses with 0.7 ratio 1 have also operated successfully in recent years. This means that this may be because their inventories that they had, it was easily convertible to cash, so that's why they would probably successful. But if it's a business that does not have that particular ability to convert its inventory into cash rapidly, like generally manufacturing business, because you have to purchase those inventories, then you have to, there's some processing takes place, then you sell that, and after selling that there's credit purchase. So because of that, it takes time for the money to come back into the business, that we have talked about in a working capital cycle. So that's why not all businesses not all businesses can operate with such low ratios, but generally businesses which can convert their inventories into cash rapidly, they can operate with low quick ratios as well. So it varies according to type of the business. Retailers would have low quick ratio, as most of the current assets are finished goods which can be sold easily without consuming any time for further processing. Okay, there is no time consumed for processing those goods because they are already finished goods. Most of your inventories are finished goods. Now remember the definition of inventory, it was not just about finished goods, it was also about your semi-processed goods or raw materials. That's why we are saying over here that if the inventory consists of finished goods, then it's okay. If it's mainly raw material, then that's not too okay, and business should have a higher quick ratio. Retailers also have a regular flow of cash, as most of the sales are cash sales. So unlike manufacturing businesses, retailers generally have cash sales, so that's why they can operate with low quick ratios as well, okay, because most of their liquidity, most of the cash comes from their inventories which they sell pretty easily. Manufacturing business, on the other hand, operates normally with a 1:1 ratio, as most of its inventories are unfinished goods which need to be processed, or perhaps most of its inventory contain computer components which have become obsolete. So that's why when we remove inventories from your current ratio to have your quick ratio, we need to have a good ratio, okay. A normal ratio of 1:1 is okay, but if you fall below that for manufacturing businesses, then that's alarming, perhaps, because that means your liquidity is at stake. Your assets, you don't have enough assets to pay off your current liabilities, because you can't rely on inventories. Your inventories take a lot of time to be converted into cash, so that's not a good thing for a manufacturing business. Hence, a big drop from current ratio to quick ratio is expected with businesses dealing mainly with finished goods, such as retailers. So these businesses, of course, there will be a big drop because they mainly rely on the inventories, but that's okay since they know that their inventories can be converted into cash rapidly. But it is alarming for manufacturing business because they can't rely on inventories. The inventories need to be processed further into converted into finished goods, and it's all time consuming. And then again, there's the point of credit sales, so that's why they can't rely on inventories. So there shouldn't be a big drop in manufacturing business, because if there is, then that means okay, your business is not operating too well, it's not managing its cash flow pretty well, and it will be in a liquidity crisis. So with that, we are done with this quick ratio, and let's move on to today's topic of profitability ratios. Profitability ratios, as opposed to liquidity ratios, these are about profitability, of course. These ratios compare the profits earned by the business with other key variables such as the level of sales achieved or the capital available to managers of the business. So they basically compare your profit with your sales or your capital available, but in this particular AS, up to AS level, we'll just compare different types of profit relative to sales revenue. We won't compare it to the capital available. That's for A2 perhaps or later on. So fast moving consumer goods, if you don't know what's the full form of FMCG, that's fast moving consumer goods, basically your shampoo, your toilet paper, etc., small things, soft drinks and all. So that's your fast moving consumer goods. Now they have a less profit margin as compared to your niche market items, your customized goods products like handcrafts, which have high profit margins. So because of that, your profitability ratios will also vary. These demonstrate the ability of the business to generate profit. What? Your profitability ratios. So profitability ratios basically demonstrate the ability of the business to generate profit and the quality of that profit. This can help to guarantee the future of the business, the ability to expand or to purchase more advanced machines, etc. Okay, because business mainly rely on profit. Okay, the higher the profit, then the more they can expand, the more further they can plow back the profits into the business in the form of retained earnings to have better products, expand further to purchase more machineries, or provide more salaries to your employees so that their productivity can be boosted and other things. So declining trend in the profitability ratios over time would suggest that the business is becoming less effective in creating value. So profitability ratios should be increasing over time, not decreasing. So if they are decreasing, then that means you're not able to add value to your product. Okay, value addition, we have talked about that in first chapter, so that's linked to this. So the more value you add, the more profitable the product would be, probably. Okay, so let's look at gross profit margin. Gross profit margin, this ratio compares the gross profits achieved by a business with the revenue. So we've talked about that we compare different profits with revenues in AS level. So first profit was the gross profit, and that's where the term gross profit margin comes from. We compare our gross profit with the sales revenue and calculate the percentage of selling price of a product that constitutes to its gross profit. Okay, how much of the selling price constitutes to the gross profit of that particular product. So gross profit margin is calculated by gross profit divided by your sales revenue multiplied by 100%. Okay, so it is a good indicator of how effectively managers have added value to the cost of the sales. Okay, not just any cost, we are talking about the cost of the sales. That means your direct cost. We're not looking at the indirect cost yet because it's gross profit, it's not operating profit. Remember, operating profit is when we have deducted your overheads and other costs as well. In gross profit, we have only deducted your direct cost, the cost of the sales. So it varies depending on the type of the industry. Of course, firms that turn over their inventory rapidly and then can trade with relatively few assets may operate with low gross profit margin, such as bakers and greengrocers. So generally they have, they don't have high profit margins, but they have enough inventory to just directly convert them. They don't have further processing and all. The most of the inventory is your finished goods, so that's why they can easily continue operations with less profits as well. Why do they have less profit, less gross profit margin? Because they have a high variable cost, but they have a less fixed cost. So if we look at the operating profit margin of this business, then we won't see much of a high drop because the fixed costs are low. So that will indicate that this business is performing well. On the other hand, firms with slower turnover of inventory and requiring substantial fixed assets may have a higher gross profit margin, such as house builders, because they have a higher fixed cost and less variable cost. Since you have less variable cost, your gross profit margin will be high, but then due to your high fixed cost, your net or operating profit margin will be low. There will be a big drop. We'll see about the net and operating profit margin later on, but the main idea over here is that it varies depending on the type of the industry, and since it varies, we can't compare businesses with two different industries. We need to look at, so we can't just say if it's a low value, the ratio is low, then that means the business is not performing well. No, if let's say this business has a gross profit margin of 20%, this business has a gross profit margin of 60%. Now that does not necessarily mean that business house builders are performing better than those. No, we have to see other things as well. So that's why that's one of the limitations of profit of ratios, which we'll talk about in the next lecture. So just giving an idea that you need to consider the industry the business is operating in as well. The reasons for decrease in gross profit margin would be your increase in raw material costs, which may be due to inflation. Okay, decrease in the selling price. Of course, if there's a decrease in selling price, your gross profit margin will also decrease. But you might have to decrease your selling price in order to increase your revenue due to competition or to gain a greater market share. And change of suppliers will also decrease gross profit margin if you are increasing your quality but increasing your prices as well. It could increase your gross profit margin as well if you change your suppliers, if the quality is reduced and the prices are reduced. Okay, but generally you want a good quality, so if you want a good quality and your prices are higher, in that case your gross profit margin will increase because it's a direct cost. So overall, this ratio can be improved by increasing prices, although this may result in lower turnover. Alternatively, reducing direct cost will also improve the figure. So we'll talk about improving profit margin, improving ratios in the later chapter as well, in the later lecture. So moving on, the last ratio we have is the net profit margin, or you can also say the operating profit margin. This calculates the percentage of a product's selling price, that is net profit, after all costs have been deducted but before tax is paid. Okay, so this is your operating profit before tax. How much of that profit is present in your selling price? So it is a better indicator of performance than gross profit margin, as it includes all of a business costs and expenses. Okay, so it includes all of your costs and expenses. That's why it's a better indicator than your gross profit margin. It is calculated by the formula net profit before tax divided by revenue multiplied by 100%. So that's how you get your net profit margin. How do you use a net profit margin? The results of this ratio can vary according to the type of the business, although higher profit margin is preferable. Now of course this will also vary according to type of business, but generally the higher the operating profit margin is, the better the business is. Okay, so comparing both of them can be informative. For example, a business with stable profit margin and declining net profit margin may be failing to control expenses effectively. This may be due to the purchase of costly new premises, for example. Okay, so there's just it should be comparison of gross profits margin and net profit margin can be from not present. Okay, let me just correct that. Okay, so all done. Then what are the reasons for falling your net profit margin? Okay, why will your net profit margin fall? There would be an increase in overhead costs. Okay, perhaps there's a lot of other expenses, your rents are increasing, etc. And there could be increase in business promotions. Okay, so if you are promoting your business more because of you want to increase your sales, etc., or perhaps it's your sales are falling, so that's why you want to increase promotion, but that will decrease your net profit margin since your indirect costs are increasing. Then increase in the layers of organization. Why? Because in that particular way you will have more managers to pay salaries. So your management salaries is a indirect cost, so that those salaries also reduce your net profit margin. Now improvements in the net profit margin through higher selling prices or tighter control of sets. You can improve yours that way. Okay, either you increase your selling price or have a better control of your costs, particularly overheads or indirect costs. Still we'll have a more detailed look at how we can increase our ratios. Okay, not just this profitability ratios but also your liquidity ratios. So with that we are done with for today. We've talked about the previously unfinished quick ratio, we've talked about profitability ratios. We see that it varies according to the business. Okay, we've talked about gross profit ratio and gross profit margin and your net profit margin. Now of course it will vary according to type of the business. How much profit margins do the business have? Some have high variable costs, some have low variable costs, so that's why it will vary, and we have seen the reasons for falling gross profit margin and net profit margin. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching and Allah Hafiz.